Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another episode of Bloodborne. So today we're going to go ahead and finish up the DLC. And I apologize if in this episode I'm drinking more water. My throat has been sore. Hopefully I'm not coming down with anything. Oh no, it's COVID! I'm just kidding. But, hopefully it's nothing. Though I do usually advise, if you are getting into, podcasting, if you are getting into commentary of any kind, have water by, and slowly drink it, because if you drink it quickly, then it's not really going to serve its purpose of keeping the throat, moistened and whatnot, instead of being dry. Now here, we are going to go ahead and finish up, dealing with Orphan and Laurence, but I actually forgot to, change my runes, so if you see me go back here, that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm just going back to get runes, because if you guys didn't know, although Bloodborne's pretty old, so a lot of people do know this, but if you're perhaps new getting into Bloodborne, Orphan has a glitch where if you have the rune Blood Rapture on, which restores health upon visceral attacks, you can get a whole lot of health. Like, it's almost like 1,000 health, or like 700,000, I don't know the exact number, but it's quite a substantial amount of health. So it's always worth putting on Blood Rapture in double claw mark, because you can just visceral Orphan into oblivion. And to be honest, I don't really have a problem doing it, because Orphan's difficulty to me comes mainly from the fact that he spams a lot. The camera is all over the place because he's very sporadic, so it's really, to me, not my kind of difficulty. Not that I'm saying I can't do it without visceraling. I have actually done that many a times in my my blunt level 4 run. So I have in fact done it without, but I usually just prefer to just kill him that way. It's usually pretty cool. I do apologize though, because like I said, I'm not sure why my throat feels so dry today, so hopefully you can bear with me and we'll get past it. So down we go, now that we are prepared, and this has been a very interesting playthrough, but I can finally thus say I now have a playthrough of Bloodborne on here, of one of my favorite games of all time, and it's not garbage. It's not, there's no problems with it. The entire playthrough is right here. If you're looking for help, I did my best. Well, excuse me as I try not to speak over this cutscene. And here we go. The big bad, well, not big bad, but the final boss of the DLC. A lot of people actually have never actually beaten him. So like I said, hopefully I will showcase, the ridiculous damage that you can do here. Now, believe it or not, folks, I'm actually doing I believe I said this before, I'm doing a playthrough of Bloodborne using an arcane mainly build and whatnot, and I want to demonstrate something. I believe I might have something here. I don't know if it's specific to the item, but you can actually, it looks like you can bypass second phase. If you visceral him, and then you hit him with a black sky eye orb, he seems to get staggered and immediately tries to retaliate. And I believe I might be able to stun lock him into just completely killing him, without transformation. There are a few bosses that actually you can do things like that too, although sometimes they'll transform into a death. If you visceral Gascoigne before he transforms and you kill him with that visceral, he actually does not transform. But if you kill him before he actually transforms, in man-made state he transforms, but he dies immediately. Celestial Emissary is also someone that operates like that, so it's really interesting, and it's worth experimenting with. And I'm sorry if I'm not really talking much about the fight, because like I said, I am just trying to do it. I was throwing these rocks because I wanted to see if that was a similar effect. So that's all. He's actually very resistant to buffs. I've noticed, like, even when I buff, he usually isn't taking that much more damage and whatnot, because they want to make this fight as difficult as possible. There are also certain attacks that, you know, don't actually seem to hit you at times. Like, they go over you. Now, that's not to say that you shouldn't dodge at all. That's to say that, I don't know, it's a bit interesting, to say the least, you know. I apologize if you hear my phone. Let me put that on mute. There we go. Try not to have too much background noise. Now, when he jumps up, he usually jumps straight up, so you can just charge an attack and, you know, get a backstab that way when he falls down. I've done this fight many times, like I said, so I apologize if I do make it look pathetic. The fight is, in fact, you know, challenging. So just don't be afraid. Dash in, turn around, and bam. Yeah, I think that's death for him. Goodbye. Hold that L. You see, folks, it's really just a matter of knowing what to do and whatnot, and learning technique. I have spent many hours, dedicating my time to learning about the AI, how to manipulate it and whatnot, and mastering the art of charging a backstab in certain positions and whatnot for Vault Level 4, so I have quite a lot of experience with it. Let's watch this cutscene, shall we?
Ah, sweet child of Kos, returned to the ocean. A bottomless curse, a bottomless sea, accepting of all that there is and can be.
Now, you know something interesting that I've always wondered about Bloodborne? Is Kos really dead? Is Abriatus really dead? Are any of the great ones that we actually kill really dead? Now, this is mainly something that is completely speculation, and it's usually due to the fact that Lovecraft lore, which is Eldritch style, which is what Bloodborne is inspired off of, there aren't the air quote great ones, you know, the Eldritch beings and whatnot. I don't know too much about it, but from what I do know, they live on different planes of reality, and so, like, when you quote-unquote kill them in our reality, they just go back to their reality. So when it's saying return to the ocean, I assume that maybe the spirit that was stuck here or whatnot, or it being the being that was stuck here, the Orphan, you know, gets returned back to the reality with, you know, Kos actually comes from or something. I don't know. I'm not trying to get into, like, you know, all that stuff. I'm just saying it's interesting. It is interesting. So here I'm going to go ahead and face Laurence, and so I just said, you know, I should probably just put in, you know, some more communion, because, you know, there are instances where, you know, like, you just want some health, because you don't really visceral Laurence too much here. You can get a visceral on him, don't get it wrong, because he does operate similar to the Cleric Beast, but you can really only visceral, like, I'd say once or twice maybe, if he does heal, and you successfully get that off if you have enough damage to cripple his head again. Bloodborne's combat is just so interesting and elaborate in that you can cripple limbs, get bonus damage. I really feel as though they should really explore, I'm telling you, they really should explore something with this kind of combat and whatnot. It just sucks that we're likely never going to get that, thanks to Japan Studio and whatnot, and the ridiculous decisions that Sony has chosen to do. Well, make. Either way, you know what I mean. Apologize if my grammar isn't exactly the best, by any means. But yes, this has been one wild ride of a playthrough, and so after I record this, we'll record my audio, excuse me. I'm going to go ahead and record my audio for the next and last episode of this playthrough. Bittersweet that it's coming to an end, folks. I finally did it. There's a playthrough of Bloodborne that's not cursed. You know, with little to no issues. And I'm pleased with that. I feel like I did relatively okay in showcasing a few techniques that we can do. Obviously, like, I feel like when I stream this and whatnot, I can perhaps explain a lot more what's going on in my head. We can see that the nightmare has come to an end. Just look at the sky. The nightmare has been lifted, so to speak. And so hopefully all the hunters in this dream can find their rest. Well, nightmare. No, a nightmare is technically a dream. Look at that. There are just so many times like where these guys come so close to killing that giant dude, and I'm always rooting for him. But then they always die. There he is, folks. One of the two people that caused all this. Give me back my humanity! That's all I can think that he's, imagining. Lol. And so, once again, I shall show you the power of the threaded cane, hopefully, throughout this, thing. Word of advice, if you are interested in using threaded cane, mix up R2s with R1s and whatnot. Sometimes it's not best to hit R2 again. Sometimes it's not best to hit R1 again. It's best to mix it up into the combo, as need be. Serration damage, plus the ability to be buffed, plus ranged damage and whatnot. I'm telling you folks, to me, most versatile weapon in this game. Oh, the beauty of Laurence. The beauty of his theme. 2, 3. I know they're delayed attacks, but just learn the tempo. That's what I really like about Bloodborne. It's just like a dance, if you will. Once you learn the tempo, you know, it's a lot easier. There is a technique that you can do with Laurence, by the way, where he starts falling over in this phase. But it's a bit tricky. It's where you constantly stay behind him, and that, of course, is the visceral that I'm talking about. Viscerated. He's almost down to phase 2. So yeah, you can see I'm kind of speeding along here. He should fall now. Yep. And I believe I stopped to allow the music to play. And you can just see why this weapon is amazing for this fight. You can just stay away from the lava. Just keep hitting. From safety. Couldn't dodge properly there. But still. Broke his poise. And so now I just said, you know, I want to let this play out. So I just stopped for a moment. This music right here, folks, the lyrics that you are hopefully about to hear, because I tried to turn the volume down, I believe, in a moment, after I actually get a bit of distance, yeah. See? I don't know why I was being such an idiot with the menu. Like, I'm usually quick with my menu. But I was like, okay, let me just try this time, and I just kept doing that instead of pressing left instead of right, so that I can immediately go there. And I was like, okay, let me turn that down, turn his sound down, so that we can hear. He does hurt, though. Just listen to this, folks. It's beautiful, folks. I'm telling you, Bloodborne is the best soundtrack that From, to me, has ever made. I love orchestral music. I love instrumental music. And what they did with Bloodborne, to me, was like, I feel like some of the best orchestras I have ever heard in my entire 22 years of life. The lyrics, the music, the tempo. Everything about this boss is like Dark Souls at its peak to me. The lore, the reason why you're fighting him, who he really is, you know, like, From just blew this fight away to me. I feel like this fight is even more meaningful than Orphan himself. The lyrics, if you look at the meaning of them and whatnot, help reinforce that feeling to me personally. And so I just said, okay, I just wanted to let you hear the full song. And so now I'm just going to go ahead and end this. It's a wrap. Bye, Laurence. You wanted to help people, but you had the wrong idea. You know, like, he is the big bad, if you already know the lore. You know, him and Wilhelm, as I like to call him. But, I'd say that he at least wanted to, help people more, but at the end of the day, you know, it became, most like many things, manipulative, and he took advantage of his, position and whatnot. But, you know, like I said, you know, Wilhelm isn't any better, considering that he took people and experimented on them for the sake of eyes on the inside, so they're equally villainous, if you will. And now that the nightmare is over, I tried to get the doll to talk about how German sleeps fine, but she didn't mention it for some reason, so I don't really know what triggers it. Like, I know I talked to her after immediately killing Orphan, but even before then, like, I don't know. I don't know, it's just weird to me. So, yeah. Just a bit odd. Just a bit odd to me, is all. I don't know if maybe you need to speak to German the most. You know, well, not the most, but like beforehand. I'm just not sure. Either way, it's unfortunate that I couldn't show that off, but I am, in fact, glad that I was able to show you the beauty of that DLC, and that music, like I said, that's actually what got me into Latin. I haven't brushed up on Latin in a while, mainly because of last year and how unfortunate it was, but I am going to, in fact, you know, do that, especially when I get more time on my hands. Because I love Latin, and I'm telling you, that fight right there, because, well, not that fight, but that actual boss theme right there, that's what really got me into it. So, hope you guys enjoyed, and when we come back, we're going to finish it all.